welcome to Battle of the Sexes. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope you're all doing well. Let's get tonight's conversation started. I see you guys have been in the chat. Okay, let me just drop the link for my panel, and then we are gonna get started. Oh, the men are hating as per usual. I see y'all. I see y'all starting. I actually had a delivery. So, oh, let me just drop the link for them. Giving me grief. There we go. Okay, so now to the chat. How is everybody doing tonight? Panel members, the link has been dropped. Please, please, please click on the link. I should just pin it actually. Pin message. Oh, I got some people on time today. Hey, Ray. Oh, hold on.
You just say,
hey, Ray.
Did you just say, did you say you have people here on time?
Yes,
on time, girl. You was late. I guess you was late.
On time. I had a pack, like literally I was about to press go live, and then my doorbell went, and I had a package, so I had to go get it. How are you guys?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Hi,
Real. The bro.
Real.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Oh, y'all really coming in today, like one right behind each other.
I mean, unlike some people, we're not late.
So. Hey, Nita.
Hey, Nita.
Nita.
Yeah. What's up?
Wait, but I don't think no one's saying nothing about Logic always being late. How about we start holding the men accountable too, huh?
Okay.
Oh, they're all silent now. I wish I had some crickets to play.
I'll give it to you. I'll
thank you.
I'll give it to you. Give me a second. There you go.
Men don't hold
What's up, bro?
men accountable. I see a new topic already.
Yeah, Shaolin.
In the light. Okay, so tonight's topic, let's start. Tonight's topic is, do men feel safe enough to open up to women emotionally? That is the question for this week. Who would like to go first? Oh wow!
So last week we started with the men first last week, right? So I think that the ladies should go first this week.
Okay then, Andrea. Soon as it's your birthday week, we can start with the ladies.
It's my birthday. 2046. Yeah. Do I think? What's the question again? I forgot my brain fart. Sorry. What was the question?
Is, do men feel safe enough to open up to women emotionally?
I think yes. I think they have to be trained. I mean, they have to start learning at a young age, like to open up. You know, I teach my son to open up to me. We talk about things, you know. And I think if a man's going to open up to you, he got to be secure and he got to trust you too.
Yeah. Okay. Shanita, Marie, randomly beautiful. Hey, girl, hey.
Hi, everyone. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
My connection is kind of unstable per usual. I don't know why it's always like that, but anyway. Hello, Real Talk. Harrison Family Vlogs.
Greetings.
Andrea, hi.
Hey, Nita.
Welcome.
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. I don't know if men feel like they are able to open up emotionally. Sometimes they feel like they can, and sometimes they feel like they can't.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
But this isn't a topic for me. I'm not a man, so
Right.
I can't answer for a man.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Shanita, for not answering for us. Thank you.
I agree. But I will say my piece on it as well. I believe that men open up when they feel some men open up when they feel like they're in a secure enough relationship and their partner is open enough to accept what they have to say and they feel safe. Once a man feels safe, I believe that some men will open up. However, I also feel that a lot of men are brought up to be men and that they should be tough and that they shouldn't let people see their emotions or if they're scared or whatever the case may be. You always have to put on a front as a man. I think that's how a lot of men are raised. And I feel that that kind of holds them back from wanting to be vulnerable, to get into that vulnerable space with a woman in certain situations. How did I do?
Good. But I like that background. I like the whole, like, is this going to be the normal spot?
Oh, just this? Yeah.
That's a good spot.
Getting there. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good spot. It's a good spot. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll go. I think you know, all of you guys have a point. You guys have a point. You know, I think for some men, it could be hard to open up and be vulnerable, especially if they grew up in a world like we're living in today, where men, you know, aren't encouraged to be vulnerable. You know, we train little boys to grow up being hard and be fighters and not to cry and hold your feelings in. Don't be a punk. And a lot of that they get from their single mothers. So now when they grow up, I said a lot. I didn't say all. And I can speak to that because I grew up with a single mom. So I'm not speaking about, you know, I'm speaking from experience as well. So it's not just anecdotal, it's experiential as well. So now they're growing up and they've been conditioned to believe that being a punk is someone who is vulnerable and addresses their feelings. They would rather just be physical instead of talking it out or being vulnerable in that sense. So, yeah, for some men, it could be extremely challenging because for a lot of men and some of the women who grew up in single parent homes, who has brothers, who single moms told their brothers that they're punks if they show their feelings, are now in relationships with men. And if they show their feelings, that woman will see them as weak as well. So yeah, it's pretty tough. It's a challenging thing for a man to be vulnerable and open up in a relationship, especially if he's been in a situation where he can't.
Okay. Real talk.
I agree with Dre, but I'm gonna add to it. A lot of men, we actually want to open up and show our emotions to our women. So really, the answer is it depends on the woman you're with. Because if you're with like one of these loud women, one of these women who got a lot of attitude or whatever, it's going to be tough to open up and be emotional to them, because if you're arguing with them, they're going to bring it up in a future argument talking about, well, you're weak, you doing all that crying and you being emotional and shit. You see what I'm saying? But with a real submissive woman, a feminine woman, we don't mind opening up to them because we know it won't get thrown back in our face if we do. Mm-hmm. So that's my answer.
Mm-hmm. I think if I can answer that,
sure.
Yeah, it's a matter of weakness and imperfection. So if a man feels like his woman, his lady, is gonna be or see him as a weak and imperfect man, he's not gonna open up. But if she can show that grace and give that space for him to be vulnerable and for there to be an area of growth and show some weakness, then he probably would. I think Real is absolutely right.
So why do? Oh, sorry. Go on, Nita.
No, I just. My question is then: will a man ever be vulnerable on his own? Does it have to always be predicated on someone else to help him to help him show his emotion?
Well, it's like that with everything and everybody. Once somebody shows that they can be trusted with that emotion, they give it. If some stranger comes to me and say, "Hey, I'm opening up a bank, and you should open up your account with me," and he just comes to me on the street, I don't know this guy. I'm not going to give him my money because I don't know him and I don't trust him. So,
well, I mean, in a relationship, not just a stranger. Why would why would anyone open up to a stranger? I'm talking about in relationships, people that you have relationships with, whether it be friendship or partnership. Is it always going to be predicated upon the person, or are you just going to be willing to?
Yes, it's no matter what it is. It's always predicated on the person that you're giving that trust to. If that person hasn't earned that trust, then I'm not going to be vulnerable around them. And I wouldn't recommend you either, Shanita. If somebody hasn't shown that they can be trusted with your emotions and your feelings, you don't share that with them. They got to prove it first. That's like it's with any relationship. If you get close to a friend that you grew up with, you got close because that relationship, was tested, and that both you guys passed that test, so they could be trusted. So now I can be vulnerable with that person. But
we're talking about. I remember last week that we talked about, how we react to certain things, triggers and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, then why is it why are we responsible for our own feelings? When is a responsibility going to rely on us instead of letting someone else dictate how they made us feel?
But the discussion is not about how we feel. It's about who we telling our feelings to. Yeah, we're responsible for what we feel like. All right. Right. If I'm sharing my feelings with you and you have my feelings, now you're responsible for that as well. And if I'm putting that responsibility on you, I need to trust you.
Okay. So men don't feel. Do men feel safe? That is what the title says. When are men going to take responsibility to feel safe on their own, rather it be regardless of it being on someone else?
So now, Shanita, I'm glad you said that, because I was hoping that it will go there, right? If he doesn't say anything to his lady, he's taking responsibility upon himself. If he's not being vulnerable, right, with her, right, and he can't trust her with it, he's for sure taking responsibility for his actions and for his own emotions.
What the hell is he doing with her then?
What's that?
What the hell is he doing with her then?
I would say bounce. Right. You're absolutely right.
What is he doing with her then?
Be the relationship.
Right. If he can't be vulnerable, then why is he even in the relationship? He might as well be by himself.
Yeah.
But again, the topic is, all right, do men feel safe? So I'm explaining to you.
That goes with the topic. If he doesn't feel safe, then why is he with her?
Why is he with her?
It's kind of so. I would flip it, because then your dialect and your rhetoric would change completely if it was reversed.
Yeah, so don't flip it, because it's talking about men, so it's not flipped.
So I'm going to be.
what I'm saying?
No, because I feel like if it were flipped, this would be the same thing that you all would be saying. Well, she needs to take responsibility for her own actions. She shouldn't be worried about what I do with that. That would be y'all's argument, hands down.
Shanita, this ain't even the same argument you're talking about. What do you mean? This ain't the same argument at all, by a long shot.
I literally said if it were flipped, because y'all told me if the shoe was on the other foot. So I'm saying the same thing. If the shoe were on the other foot, you all would be telling us you have to take responsibility for your own actions. It's not up to me.
So real.
No, that's a.
But by that same logic, real, right? Because they talked about not being willing to submit to a man, right? They need to submit to a man without him needing to prove himself.
Yep.
So by that same logic, goes the same way. So all right.
So the question is, the context is, if he cannot communicate with his woman, why is he with her then? Because if you don't feel safe with somebody and you won't share your emotion with that person, what are you doing with her then?
The same reason why, the same exact reason why y'all decided to be with a man who can't do nothing for you. Yep. Why are you even with him?
What that got to do with the question?
What you mean? What that got to do with it? It got everything to do with it.
The question, the topic, stay on topic until top 87. The question
I'm staying on topic.
Can he be vulnerable? And if you can't be vulnerable, why are you with me then?
And I just okay, never mind.
I'm just asking the question to you.
And we've already answered that, but okay.
I say he bounce. You don't belong in that relationship. All right, but the question is, do men feel safe? All right, and it's a general sense. So in that specific situation, if he doesn't feel safe, he needs to leave that relationship. What we're talking about is why men don't feel safe. Mm-hmm. Not if he's in a relationship with somebody he doesn't feel vulnerable with, he needs to leave. That's not the conversation. The conversation
is why men don't feel safe then.
What's that?
Why men don't feel safe?
Oh, we just talked about one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What's another?
Yeah, what's another? We waiting.
Yeah, because I'm really intrigued.
This is not a topic. It's not about y'all. I'm not a man, so
it's different, right? You know what it is? It's different. Like when you're having a discussion.
I don't know how men think.
Because there's the battle, right? And then there's the understanding. It seems like you guys just want to battle.
And that's what they want to do. They don't want to understand nothing
at all.
At all.
The whole body language.
Trying to get an understanding.
Shows it.
I'm trying to understand it.
There they go, telling us what we think, right? Telling us what we want.
Y'all think we're better.
This is how it is each and every week. We try to tell y'all what we think and why we think it, and then you're like, oh, I don't agree with that. Y'all do this because it did this, and you don't want to listen to nothing we got to say about why we feel this way. Instead, just listen and understand. That's it. It's not really.
But okay, I get what you're saying, Real, and we are listening and understanding, but maybe you should listen to our question because we're trying to get an understanding. It's the way in which you explain things.
Oh, it's the way that we're explaining.
Yes.
Well, maybe it's you guys don't want to hear that some men don't trust women and they won't open up.
That's what it is.
The truth that you don't want to hear.
No, I think I think what you're saying is true. I do think what you're saying is true. But I'm trying to understand why you don't trust us. I need a little, can we get
so
I already somewhat.
Yeah, Real did.
Okay, that's cool. But I'm asking follow-up questions. Why is it we can't ask follow-up questions?
Yeah, you can.
I'm trying to get a clear understanding. If y'all know anything about me, I'm going to keep asking questions.
Ask the question, Shanita. What's the question?
I'm asking follow-up questions, and it seems like
ask the question.
It seems like some men have a problem with answering more questions.
Y'all get attitude because we asking more questions. We trying to have an understanding.
Ask the question. Y'all keep complaining. Ask the question. What's the question?
I've asked my questions and they made you uncomfortable, so now I'm shutting down.
What is the? Okay, well, shut down then. What's up, Harry Z and Knowledge? What's up? What's going on, bro?
Where have you been? Happy New Year.
Yeah, bro.
What's going on? Happy New Year, everyone. Sorry I've been off the radar, but I have to stay on for a little bit longer. I wanted to chime in, though. I wanted to chime in because everyone's dropping some real knowledge, no pun intended. But I wanted to say, as far as the relationship portion and on really just opening up to your spouse, it's so important to court your spouse. It's so important to do that. And when you court your spouse, you're going to learn these things about them that either you're going to want to open up and continue to open up, during that time, or you're just not. You're going to move on. But I think what's really important is that we elevate our spouse to the next level. It's sort of like a promotion. You go from courting And then hopefully if that works out really well, then you go to becoming friends, and then good friends, and then best friends. And I will tell you this from a barbershop standpoint, because men talk in barbershops. That's what we do. Okay. In the barbershop, you feel comfortable and confident to talk about any and everything in there. So that's because you've befriended people. Now, when you befriend your spouse, your soon to be, your loved one, that is so important, and what's going to allow those walls to come down a whole lot easier. But if you hold true and say, yeah, he's a brother and he's supposed to be hardcore, and they're supposed to hold their own and they can't show no weakness. This kind of goes back to the conversation about being perfect. Being imperfect is perfect for a man, and all that is just a big part of opening up to that loved one or that spouse. That's just, I've been married for 14 years, and it's been my man. It's been good. There's been highs and lows, but if you're really not courting somebody, if you're not really spending the time, you're not going to open up to them. No matter black, white, Hispanic, all that ethnic stuff go out the window. If you just not my,
I think we lost him.
Yeah, I think we lost.
like I said it for a hot minute, but y'all looking real good on here. Everyone's doing well, and
miss you, bro.
You gone too long.
We can't wait till you're back.
Dre is jealous.
Yeah. Know what else though?
Okay.
Because I was just like, I think somebody said something in the chat, sort of like sparked something in me, right? Another reason why I think some men don't want to open up and be vulnerable to women is because some women got extremely loose tongues, and they tell their other girlfriends things that they don't need to be sharing with them, right? And then if that girlfriend gets mad at the boyfriend for something, she's about to tell him all the business that his girl was telling her. Here's the thing I've realized, right? In some relationships, right? And then you can go with your finger up. There's always a woman where another woman shares every single intimate, juicy detail with in a relationship. Always. Not always. Most of the time, right? So, like I like for me, right? If I know, right, that I'm about to share something with my wife, right, and I know that she's also extremely close with another female friend of hers that she tells everything to, I would not tell her everything.
Tonight,
I wouldn't. Okay.
Well, how dare you keep stuff on your wife though? Like that's supposed to be your wife. What happens between you two and what you two discuss in between the sheets, like that pillow talk, that's between you two. That doesn't necessarily mean that what's happening between the two of you is what she's gonna go and tell her BFF or whatever. Like women can be very secretive as well. Like sometimes women keep certain, like personally, they don't tell every intimate detail. A lot of the times they're still very protective over their situation.
Yeah.
So
because
I feel like if you feel like you have to hold back and you can't be honest and open with your partner, then maybe it doesn't mean shit with your partner.
So that's been the second time you ladies say that. So either we're going to talk about why men don't want to open up, all right, and at this point we got to cut that out because then that's the obvious thing. We're talking about the obvious thing. Then you shouldn't be in that relationship. That's obvious. Do you guys want to know why we shouldn't be in a relationship with you or why we don't open up to you? Which one?
Why don't you guys open up to us?
Yes.
All right. So let's stay there.
Okay.
Knowledge is key. What's up, bro?
Peace and blessings, kings. Peace and blessings, all the kings and queens.
Got it.
Hey.
All the goddess.
I'm not of this world.
Now I would ask a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this conversation about does it I notice in the black community is real big about male and female, about women being masculine or men being this or whatever. Is that in every community or just in our black community? Because I mean, do you hear like Indian women or white women or Puerto Rican women having conversation about why they're not more emotional or why they're not open? Or do you hear like Puerto Rican men or a whole bunch of
You know,
Italian men? And is it just us that's having a
let me
problem
say
with this?
this. Let me say this. Let me
I
say
was
this,
gonna
knowledge.
wait before
I'm gonna
you
say
say what
this.
you have to say. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, I'm gonna say this. I don't know how they do it in. I don't know how it is in other communities. I'm sure, just to guess, they might have that same issue in other communities. But us as black people, not just women, not just men, us as black people, we like to talk and complain about everything.
Mhm.
So you hear it more from us than anybody else. But it
Now,
might also happen
is
in
that
other
a problem?
communities,
But I was
huh?
gonna say, I think it depends on the culture too, because in a lot of cultures, they are still very much kind of like the old school way of thinking, whereas men are seen to be this the man basically, and women are kind of silent still, and they don't really have as much say as what men do in certain cultures. That is still very much a thing.
Now, do you think by us see this is I notice and some dudes might feel offended or something like that. A lot of dudes don't have no structure, and a lot of dudes don't have no how can I explain it? No big homie, meaning no grandpop they can talk to, or no uncle that's a real man that really. So what happens is we come up with our own ideas of what we think we need to be. So we like, well, I need to be this. I need, but if you look at somebody that has a healthy relationship, then you would take some type of blueprints or some type of advice from a healthy relationship because you're in tune with that. But if you don't have nothing else to judge off other than what you think, that's not always the best because you didn't go through life enough to even have like you went through it enough, but person that's 60 years old got a little bit more advice. So we lose that
Yeah.
from having our own. We don't have no structure. We don't have. That's why dudes go to the wrong things because no structure.
May
Yeah,
I jump
I
in?
agree. We have. Go ahead, Derek. What's up?
Yeah, yeah. Shout out of respect due to the host Candidly Vee.
You.
To the other panelists, how y'all? Um, from where I sit, I think I put in the chat that if oh yeah, I forgot. Salute to Candidly Vee. I got some wine too, big time.
Thank you. Mhm.
You're quite welcome. Oh,
Needed
and one
for
other thing
Battle of the
too.
Sexes.
Um, yeah, and I got you on TV. So I do this to everybody, so you're on TV.
I
Yeah,
feel so privileged that I made it to your TV screen. Thank you.
as you should. As you should, Candidly Be. Yeah, but what I was gonna say, I put in the chat room, if you have 10 men, you're going to get 10 different interpretations on what manhood is. And so for the self-assured man, not the alpha dude, I don't get into these labels. A man is as he does. A man is as he carries himself. And so if you have a self-assured man, he does not have a problem, in my estimation, with speaking to whomever about whatever the topic is. So sure as hell, he ain't gonna have no problem talking to his woman about things that he's feeling internally. But to a lot of the other men's point, the fact is that the black home is broken. So quite naturally, if the black home is broken, the children in that home will be broken. So then what happens is a lot of times, most of the households in Black America are headed up by single Black women, and they send these men out into the world, and they look for mama. And so then the woman wonders, well, what happened? Because they looking for a man to come through and be what they think a man is supposed to be. So you got this hamster wheel that we on. And so that's what I see as the biggest problem. Now, I don't know how you right the ship aside from having men step in and be mentors to young men, men who had these kids, raise their kids in a proper fashion. I don't, aside from those two scenarios right there, good luck with anything else that anybody else has to say, because the fact of the matter is, so long as the Black home is broken, you're going to get dysfunction. And so this is why when you ask about, well, yo, the Black woman ain't protected, you wonder why the Black man is in jail or gets shot up, or he's shooting his brother, and all these other things. All this stems off of the Black home being broken, in my estimation. So everything else funnels off that. If you know, if that makes sense. That's pretty much all I want to say. And thank you for having me on your platform, and salute to Candidly Vee. So I'm going to drop back down. That's all I want to say. Salute to y'all.
Thank
you.
Salute.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Williams.
All right, salute.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when Mr. Williams said that it's the Black, I mean, is he blaming the Black woman because the man can't communicate? I'm just asking the question.
He's not blaming the Black woman. He's just saying that the Black. No, Andrea, don't get worked up, Andrea. No, don't get worked up. He's not blaming the Black woman. He's just saying
my thing is,
the Black home is broken.
Let her be done.
I just asked the question.
She asked the question. I just answered it.
She wasn't done talking.
But the question, I just asked the question. The thing is, are we going to look? It's single mom raising kids, period. So get over that. It is what it is. So my thing is, how we move forward is teach our boys how to communicate. So the thing is, if you saying it's a Black family and the Black home, then tell the men to come up to the plate. Then.
Now, Max a question, right? Now, that is true. I see a lot of single mothers raising a child, but is that the right thing to do?
No, it ain't the right thing. But this is what the adults. So to deal with it and keep it moving.
Now, this is the thing, right? Now, let's be real, right? Now, take it.
A book about that topic? Oh, whoa. I'm just saying.
Shameless plug here. I'm just gonna advertise my book.
Now, what about this, right? Now, what about this? Say you meet a guy and he's not what you expected him to be, but you see potential in him. Do you help him work on his potential? Or you just say, you know what? I ain't got time for this. I'm going to just find somebody that, you know what I mean?
But okay, but at the same time, it's what age is potential? Because if you're 46, no, you ain't got potential, baby. You got to know who you are.
Now,
if I can interject.
Say if you meet a guy that's your age, he's 46, and he's a good guy, but he don't know himself. But you do. Would you be kind of mad at him because he don't?
Raise a man. Want me to raise a man now? That's what you're saying?
I didn't say that. I say he's a good dude. He got a job. He got a job, and he got. Just because you got a job, you can still be a womanizer. You can still be that don't mean nothing because you got a job. But I'm just saying he got a job and he got a nice little car and he got the basics of what a man supposed to have. But when it's supposed to mean not every man has it. But I'm just saying. But he's dumb as a box of rocks.
So that just tells me what was his home training at then. Because I don't have time to raise no man. I'm raising a son right now. Well, I'm raising a 46-year-old man. I
think that's pertinent to the conversation, though. Like if he's been raised in a toxic environment where he cannot share, and he's 47, there's 47 years of him holding in a whole lot of things and being conditioned to think that he can't share. So at that specific moment, no, you don't have to, raise a boy, and either way, there's no wrong or right answer here. Or you can find that, you know what, he's dealing with a lot of trauma, and this trauma needs to be unpeeled for him to heal. So either I can leave and not have to deal with the stress, or I can invest in him and help him heal.
That's the key. You invest in things that's worth it.
Yeah, so the point is he worth the investment?
That's what I said.
Maybe
he's 46.
Maybe I'm saying I'm 46 years old. I invested in somebody who's 46. Damn it, come on now. I'm just
trying to invest in somebody that's 25. If I'm gonna deal with somebody,
I'm not
25.
I'm just being honest. I'm a 46-year-old woman. I'm not investing in a 46-year-old man who should have some shit. Come on now. Let's keep it real.
A lot of these dudes, right? And I know a lot of dads out here and granddads, you wouldn't know that they are messed up based on the car they drive or the money they have until you actually get with that person. So you don't know what you're getting with based on the materials they have. And the key is, once you get with them, are you willing to say, you know what, I did like that. Did you get with that person based on their material, or did you get that person based on, you know what, I really want to be with this person, and whatever comes with it, I'm willing to deal with it because I'm built that way? Or you're saying I'm anything that makes me comfortable.
And if I may, I'm about to get you guys a little upset, ladies. I'm sorry. But women would want to deal with what they want to deal with. All right. For instance, all right, they'll get with the bad boy and the thug wanting to change him then. But if he's having a hard time opening up because he had some history where he was conditioned not to, then you guys are calling him an insecure little boy who's afraid of opening up. But you're not looking to change him and then or help him heal then, but you'll invest time and energy in trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Change the wannabe thugs out there who aren't about nothing, but driving the nice cars and got the nice house like Knowledge is talking about. Some women just don't want to deal with anything other than what they want to deal with, but some, not all, some.
And some of that is superficial right there. There we go right there. Superficial.
I agree.
What about the man's character? So the thing is, there's superficial right there again.
Yeah, but you guys look to change the character after he got all those superficial things that you want. You just don't want him to, you want him to come already emotionally invested into you, but it's not realistic all the time.
And it's not realistic all the time. It's not realistic all the time to ask a woman to invest into someone.
Trying to get it.
You know he's potential. When you know that this ain't worth your time because you have elevated yourself, and why he ain't elevating himself. And I'm sorry that his mama didn't teach him how to communicate.
Might not have a mom.
Exactly.
Grandma, come on. Okay, you got somebody. I'm just saying.
Can I say something real quick? Because I've been quiet all this time because I was interrupting Andrea. I'm sorry.
Shanita had her hand up the whole time. She had her hand up.
But I've been trying to talk for the last 5 minutes, though. That's what I'm trying to say.
Let real go.
Go ahead, Shanita. No, go ahead, Andrea. Shanita. Go ahead. I'm good.
He's such a baby. Every time Anyway, so you talk often, real Harrison Family Vlogs, about the woman always wanting the bad boy and always trying to change the bad boy and picking the bad.
Some women, not always.
Well, you said I'm gonna make you women upset when I say this. So I'm gonna go with what you said. So
I said you women, and then I said right after that, some women. So
run the tape back.
Please do.
Not the guys who are good guys don't always open up either in relationships. Just like the bad boy doesn't open up in the relationship. So I don't want it to get confused that we choose, some women choose the bad boy and he doesn't want to open up. It goes the same thing for the good guy.
No, so that's not what I said. I said
doesn't want to open up either.
No, not. I said some women would want to rehabilitate. I didn't say rehabilitate, but that's what I meant to say. Rehabilitate the bad boy so that they can become good for them, right? And they'll deal with that, but then they won't deal with a man who has history of trauma.
Mm-hmm. And some women want to rehabilitate the good guy too. Mm-hmm. It's just in a woman to be nurturing that way.
Now, I like that. Now, say if females say, I want a guy that's more in tune with his emotion, right? Now, this guy come in, right? And he's soft. He see a movie that it makes him cry. He loves to like bake and he loves to do certain things. Now at first it become cool, like, oh my God, I found the guy that's in tune with this. But think about it, after a while, you're like, you know what? Where's your balance at? Like, okay, all you're doing is giving me. You would call him soft. You would say, yo, why you so soft? Now y'all both crying over movies. Y'all both now say this. Some dudes want to cry, but they was never taught how to. So this guy been raised with his mother. He didn't have a dad. So his mother always told him, don't listen to people. If you want to cry, go ahead, let it out and do all this stuff. But when he gets outside, they call him soft. Like, man, why you so soft? Why you soft? Why you soft? Now he's confused. He don't know what to be what his mom told him or be what outside tell him. Now he's confused. Dudes either choose what they want. A lot of females don't want no soft guy. They don't. I don't care what you say. Do you want us to be more in tune with our emotions? I dig it. That's cool. Is that going to happen? I don't. You know what I mean? But it just need balance. I think we need balance.
We do, though. I mean, I feel like there's a time and a place for everything. So
yeah, that's a fact.
There's a time when we need you to be emotional and vulnerable with us, right? And then there's a time and a place when we need you to just be the strong man that you were made to be. Like, so I think it's a time and a place. Like, it's a good balance. I mean, women are vulnerable. Women can be vulnerable, but at the same time, you can see women being extremely strong. I'm not trying to change the subject because I don't want to go off on that, but I'm just saying, you know, we balance it very well. I'm trying to understand why men don't see that it's okay for that balance. Why some men don't see that it's okay for that balance to be made. Yeah, but I also wanted to hear what Real Talk 87 had to say.
Yeah.
Please, I would love his input.
Yes. No, I'm good. I done lost my train of thought, but I agree with everybody on this panel right now. So I'm listening right now. Thank you.
You got crickets.
Okay, so why is that? Why is it that men do not, or some men do not want to, or cannot find that balance as to when they can be vulnerable and open up with women, and when they need to be the strong men that they are made to be?
But why is that a balance?
Yeah.
And that sort of proves why men feel that women would consider them weak.
Yeah.
Why do they have to balance being
No,
strong
we don't
and
consider
being
them
vulnerable?
weak.
All right. So because like
We
being
don't
vulnerable.
consider them weak.
All right. Well, because the way you said it.
I'm confused as to why you think we consider them weak.
It's the way you
I'm
said
really
it,
confused with that. Oh.
Is this on? V, it's the way you said it. You said they got to find that balance of being strong and being vulnerable. That's what you said. So my question was, why is there even a discussion about there being a balance? Because if vulnerability isn't considered a weakness, so then they don't need to find a balance. They just need to be more vulnerable, because vulnerability, there's strength there.
Yeah, I dig it. I dig what he said.
Well, okay, Mayhem Morgan asked a good question, and I think that it's a good time to ask it to the gentleman on the panel right now. The question is, can we get an explanation on what men feel is being vulnerable? It's a question because
we want to know how to help.
Yes.
Yeah,
how to help
a
man?
We want to know how to make men feel more.
I'm gonna tell you one thing men want.
With us,
and I'm gonna tell you one thing men want. And I've been with my wife 11 years. I'm gonna tell you for a fact. Only thing men want is for y'all to be quiet sometimes. That's it. That's it. I don't care. Listen. This is a fact. You can't, men, there's two things. It's being right and being happy when you're a man, right? You don't always got to be right. I ain't always got to be right all the time, because that's not my job. Is to always be the debating. It's not my job in a relationship. My job is to be the king, the protector. That's it. My job ain't to control your mind, ain't to be all these things. I'm not here for that. But some people want that. Some people need structure. I dig it. I'm not knocking that. But the thing about females, nowadays, they feel as though they got to voice everything they feel. And if you don't want to hear them, then you're weak, or you're not used to a strong woman, or you're not used to this and this and this and that. I dig it. Cool, salute. A lot of females that saying ain't got nobody. A lot of ones that saying that ain't got no man. You know why? Because no man want to be with another man. That's a fact. I don't want to argue with you. If I want to argue with you, I go outside to my friends. I shouldn't argue with my wife or my queen or my goddess. I shouldn't have to. We didn't come together for that. We come together to be equal. You see what I'm saying? But females always feel as though it's like a battle of the sexes for real. Like, yo, ain't no man gonna control me. I got my own. That's not, I don't care about that. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to get you a job. I'm here to protect you, to love you, to respect you. That's it. I'm not here to do it. But now females want all this. I want you to be vulnerable. I want you to be emotional. But if we say, I want you to tone down your voice. Oh, here we go with this. You want a lot, but don't want to give nothing. I know this. I see that. Oh, I guess you think you got enough just because you got that between you. Stop playing with me, man. I know a lot of females that got that ain't got no man. So that ain't enough to get one. Yeah.
Interesting.
Andrea had a hand raised because she wanted to respond.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on this one. I'm good.
Nah, Jay.
I'm gonna be quiet tonight.
So wait, if I remember, who came up with this topic?
Shanita Marie randomly.
Okay. So why do you think overall, all right, and in most cases, men have a problem opening up to women?
We do.
I really just came up with the topic because I thought it would be great to talk about.
Okay. So you don't have an opinion about it? You don't think that men have a problem? Oh, okay.
Well, because I thought about this topic because I was thinking about mental health. And hey. Okay, and I was thinking about mental health. And I know it's so good to see you.
Yeah, why is it he's been married and he gets that kind of reaction? I've been married a month and I'm like,
he came into the group a married man.
Period. So, but I was thinking about the topics of mental health, and I was thinking about the Black men in our community and how it's hard for them to just open up. And I was thinking about Harry's analogy. You know, they'll open up in barbershops and around their homeboys on the basketball court or whatever. But when it comes to intimate relationships, they don't. And it's because they was taught to a man's not supposed to cry, a man's supposed to be hard. And it's a reason why a lot of them don't like to go to counseling or therapy, because they don't like to open up, or they're just being taught not to open up. So then I thought about, well, this might be a good topic to talk about in relationships if we're talking about battle of the sexes. So that's how I came up with the topic.
That's a good one.
So there was something that actually I think will probably maybe add a slight more context to this, because you mentioned the barbershop, Harry. Knowledge, real, you probably could relate to this too. You can say something once in the barbershop and never hear about it again. Or you'll come back to the barbershop and may continue the conversation there, but you're not going to hear about it somewhere else. Or if all four of us in a barbershop, right, and Harry shares something, right, and later on, and let's say Real wasn't there that day. If me and Real go play ball, I'm not talking to Real about what we talked about in the barbershop because it stays there, right? Where some women would, and I'll take you three for example, right? Shanita Marie randomly may share with Andrea Lynch about something, all right? And Andrea Lynch may talk to Candidly Vee later on that day and then tell Candidly Vee, listen, let me tell you what Shanita Marie randomly told me. And then it goes that way. So I think, it's a lot deeper than what we really can go today, because we're talking about like nature, we're talking about generally how certain genders are. Guys can talk and chop it up, and that conversation is going to stay between the 4 guys that talked about it. And it's
we can do the same thing.
But can I just say something? Men can talk just as much as women.
Yeah,
there are a lot of men that talk just as much as women. So I don't want this to come across like, oh, it's only women that talk, because that is so far from the truth.
No, they
men talk just as much. They are gossipers. Yeah, they get it from the barbershop.
So I'll ask this then: How do you guys know that?
Because they do. I got 4 brothers, and I be in a barbershop too. Y'all gossip worse than what women do.
So we talk. What we talk about in the barbershop.
All right.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
We'll go and talk.
You talk about women. You talk about hair.
That's a different. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like intimate details that we talk about in the barbershop.
Because what y'all will do after a sets y'all smash this girl. Yeah, she did X, Y, and Z. She got this that's going on. She got. It is the same because that's not something that a woman wanted to have talked about.
Is that vulnerable though?
Right.
Is that vulnerable to a guy though?
We're talking about talking about loose lips. You say because women they gossip and stuff like that. Men do the same thing.
We're talking about things that are vulnerable.
And we don't have an issue with talking about vulnerability, but y'all do. So what's up with that?
Wait, say that again, Vee.
I feel the same. I said, and we don't have an issue showing our vulnerability when we need to. However, men struggle with it. Some men struggle with it. So if you guys talk just as much as we do, and then y'all have the nerve to turn around and say, well, y'all talk so much sometimes when you guys are in the bed with us. So, that's why we don't want to say stuff to y'all. I'm like, y'all talk just as much as women do. So that's some double standard, but it's always double standard.
If we're talking about bedroom talk, Harry, I'm sorry, real quick, let me just respond to it. If we're talking about bedroom talk and no, my lady sharing something with me in the bed, all right, there's not one man I'm going to go and talk to and say, yo, let me tell you what my wife told me. Like, we don't do that.
And we don't do that either. We don't gossip. If Shanita told me something, I ain't gonna call Candidly Vee and say Shanita said this. It ain't her business. Period. Right. I'm grown. I'm not sharing everything Shanita tell me with Candidly Vee because I'm not gonna tell her that. Come on now. No, if I did that in my 20s, yes, I'm 46. We ain't doing that no more.
Right. So I think it has a lot to do with age, right? So as we grow up and we make these terrible mistakes in our lives, being 20-something, we're careless. We got our venture card has been issued to us. We all out. That's what we do. We can care less on how you feel, how your mom feel. So, but have you learned from that, right? Have you grown from that? And when you look back to mentor, teach, and coach other brothers and sisters in the community, can you give back, right? Can you tell them through experience, this is what I did, I wouldn't recommend it. And this kind of leads into the next thing. When you look when I'm gonna call it the ethnic community, my urbanites, when you look into the community, it's very rare that you find a mentor. I don't care if you go to Big Brothers, the JCC, wherever you're playing ball at, you're part of the Pee Wee League. It's tough to find a leader in the community that allows you to become vulnerable. And so where you go is you go to that barbershop. You probably go to my old boy. Listen, I'm from New York, so you probably go to old boy down the street playing CeeLo in the corner in an elevator or something. So it really comes down to, do you have that platform to become available? Is it available to you? What does it look like? What does it feel like? And if I've been taught in my house to be 100% strong, providing, caring, loving, brother, sister, brother, uncle, nephew. If we've been told that whole time and we don't have a proper mentor to do that, then I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it just makes it a little bit tougher, right? And so it's important when we are, like right now, we're a community right now. We're a community and we all live in different places. So if we're not leveraging the technology to find these mentors and really get involved in that, then what are we doing? But I want to add. I love Andrea's face, man.
I'm reading the comments.
Don't faces get me. So
the comments are funny.
I will say that yes, men do gossip, as much as women.
Yes, they do.
I've been fortunate enough to work.
I tell you, I think maybe it's because I roll very differently with the men I keep in my circle.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: when you work in the military, you got to create circles to stay alive, and so it's a little bit different. And so a lot of folks in the military, you tend to grow these very, very, very quick bonds, and you tend to just chop it up. To Shanita Marie's point, loose lips sink ships. And we know that. Ding, ding, ding. I give you one of those for sure. But we chop it up. We chop it up as much as women. I will say that women do articulate their chopping up a lot more than men do. And for example, they'll use a lot more words to articulate a certain factor or something issue that men will not. Men will be like, it was good. And to Andrea's point, yeah, we beat. That was it. Good. Over. Right? Women be like, girl, he was wearing this Calvin Klein cologne. He had these whole figure drawers on. He was smelling right, looking good. The light was good. The moon was sitting just right. And the man be like, yeah, we hung out. It was good. That was it. We keep it real simple and lovely. Like, I love your face, Candidly Vee. But that's what we do. We use a lot less, and that's our problem. That's men's problem. We use a lot less words to convey our emotion. And so women don't 100% understand what that is. And so you're trying to decipher, you're trying to rifle through your Rosetta Stone that you've took like 8 years ago to figure out what men want, what men need, and what they're saying. We're using a lot less words. And we have a hard time, no matter what your degree level is, we have a hard time articulating our feelings.
So whose fault is that you losing? That's
So it's not a fault. It's more like I haven't been exposed to it, so it's not a fault because that's not a thing. I haven't been exposed on how to really be vulnerable to the next level with my spouse, but I've learned how to be vulnerable with that barbershop dude, or with the dude I go to the liquor store for, or the dude I chop up at said place that I go and hang out in Gallivant. That's probably where it's at. But it's tough for men to open up to women, and I don't understand why. If you courted the women, if you hung out with the women, and you became good friends, like I said before, it's going to make it a whole lot easier. But women, and I throw this back at you, what are you doing to create that platform or to create that environment where a man feels like he could sit there and watch Harry Met Sally and shed some tears? What are we doing? Right? And yes, I'm not saying it's your job. Now, don't get it's not your job. It's not your job. But as long as you're creating that where it's a back and forth, it's like, okay, I'm gonna give a little, you gonna give a little. Okay, I'm gonna give a little, you gonna give a little bit more. And if we doing that, it should be like a game of ping pong or that. But it can't always be the men's got to come at me and tell me everything I need to know about this, that, and the third. Same thing with women. Women can't be like, babe, let me tell you about my day. It was stupid. I had my executive. He was doing this and that and saying stupid things. Yeah. There has to be an equal balance, and it has to be a play off each other. But
so you can't do that overnight. Mm-hmm. So what I'm taking away from what the men are saying, and I may be wrong, is that you would like us to speak less to y'all about what's going on with us. Is that what it is? You would like less information?
No, he didn't say that at all. No. What? In fact, he said the opposite. He said one of the things that men do wrong is that we don't speak enough, and women do speak enough.
Right, and women speak a lot. But I'm saying, so should women stop speaking so much?
But what he said,
a bit more comfortable.
What he said, one thing that men do wrong is not speak enough. And then he said what women do right is speak enough. He's not saying that.
Oh, okay.
Teach us how to speak. And it sounds trivial. It sounds like, whatever, you know how to speak, kindergarten, whatever. No, teach us how to speak the love language. Teach us how to communicate and really just take in what you're saying. It's not an easy thing to communicate feeling. We can sit in board meetings all day and articulate numbers and data and this and that and quantitative and qualitative. But when it comes to love and it comes to friendship and it comes to that that bond, that union, it's not as easy for men as it is for women. But we enjoy the learn. I enjoy the fact that I can do it. I enjoy that. Look, If it's an opportunity for me to grow and for us to grow in a relationship, I'm down for the task. I'm down to get it right. I'm down to work on it to get it right.
I got
and
a
whatever
question.
that means. I just know that you're a 7-person word to describe something. I'm a 1.5 person, a 1.5 word person. So
I got a question. So we can agree that men in barbershop can pretty much open up a little more freely, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with their ladies, sometimes they have a little bit more of a harder time.
Mm-hmm.
What variable exists between the two that allows a man to feel more comfortable talking in a barbershop as opposed to with their lady?
I think see, the difference is when you talk to a female, they're going to respond to you first off emotion. That's the first thing.
Mhm.
Men, we're not going to respond off emotion. We're going to just respond off like, all right, you know what I mean? Females, if it's different. I don't think, see, this is the problem. And understand this is the way it's going. We're not equal. We're not. We're equal when we come together. We're trying to be like, how can I explain it? Like, I don't understand it, but it's like, it's weird. It's like the way the generation is going, it's making men more softer. I want to say that. Softer. The men now, if you're too masculine, you're too hard. But if a woman is masculine, she's strong. If a man is soft, he's in tune with his feelings. It's weird because we're not being who we need. We're not being who we're supposed to be. We're being judged on how we are. And that's where it becomes a struggle. Because you're telling me as a man, to be with you, I got to be more feminine. Not feminine, but more in tune with my feelings and be more vulnerable. I don't think your great-great-grandfather and your grandmom had a conversation about that. I don't think those was conversations. But nowadays it's like, well, you need to be more. And the dude was like, well, I need you to be more. And it's like, why just can't accept each other for, how about this? You get who you are. How about that? You get who you are. If you are a person you're going to get that. Just how about that? I don't get females that's gossip because I'm not a gossip guy. So if you get females that's gossip, maybe because you're around gossipy people. But I know them, like females that gossip, but I ain't got females that be calling girls like, hey, girl, you know, Love and Hip Hop? Did you see how Candace off Love and... I don't got friends. I don't around girls like that. So you get mad when you're... Think about this. Let's be real. You're around a guy friend, and all he do is gossip. Would you be mad if he spread your business? When you met him, he talk a lot. So if you met a female and she said, you see that girl over there? Yeah, that girl right there, I was going to beat her up. You see that girl over there? Now, you don't even know her, but all she doing is gossiping. Now, you get with her. You expect her not to gossip now. Hey, yo, man, I don't want you to gossip. You met her gossiping. Now you don't want her to do what you... That's weird. So that's like, okay, you met a guy with a woman. I met you when I had a wife, and I'm with you. Now that I'm with you, you don't want me to cheat no more. You met me as a cheater. You think you was going to change me? No. That's the difference. You don't want to accept who I am. You want to change me. Find who you are. If you're a gossip person, then you're going to be with a gossip person. If you're a person that's love that back and forth energy, well, you're going to get that. If you love a person, you're going to get what you are. That's the problem. People don't like what they see.
Yeah.
But see, I disagree because I don't think that that's necessarily the issue. I mean, that's what you're saying, but I think that that's not really the issue of what the topic is. The topic, you know, to us is that some men struggle with being vulnerable with their woman. Like, I'm not trying to change you from being who you are, but why is it that you don't feel that you're comfortable enough to be vulnerable?
But why?
So let's remove.
Why do men look down on being vulnerable as being weak?
as a man, why can't I tell you, yo, this is what it is? And you as a woman saying, all right, I'm gonna leave it alone. Why do you feel though, you know what? I still have to say something. Like as a woman, why can't I say, you know what? I'm a black man. I have a lot being black, being oppressed, being in jail since I was 11, being no mom, no dad, all these things that I got that make me might not have emotion, all these things because of my circumstances. And still, you're still trying to make a reason and a point for me to be what society. It's like, why can't you just understand it and just be like, you know what? I understand what he's been through, and I'm gonna try to down the line get him through it. But why is it got to be like? I don't understand it. Like, well, if I say,
but I think that's what the situation is. I think that we find that's what situations women are in. Is that I understand where you're coming from and what you're saying and where you're at now, but you're still not opening. Like, can a relationship really truly be fully successful if both partners cannot be vulnerable with one another?
That's
a question.
That's why I just asked the question about why is it that men can do it in the barbershop?
Yes.
They struggle with their ladies. So that's why I really, so by answering that, let's remove what we feel. Okay. Let's get our feelings out of the way. Okay. I don't care what you ladies have to say about it. All right. I don't care what I have to say or what the gentlemen have to say. All right. Let's think critically about why men would feel comfortable in a barbershop and why they wouldn't with their ladies.
We don't know. That's why we're asking you.
Well,
why is
I think I have an answer.
Yeah.
I think because when the boys are in the barbershop, the guys are talking and everybody else is listening, and the women sometimes when the men are talking to us, we're not listening. We are talking. So what I'm trying to say is, if I go ahead and let them talk, okay, and I'm just gonna sit there and just be the silent board, and when you done talking, I'm gonna say, can I say something now? How about that?
Okay, so we don't need to go anymore, ladies, gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching the Battle of the Sexes. It's over. I will see you guys later. Thank you, Andrea. Andrea for president.
So you're saying, the reason why men have a problem opening up is because the woman isn't giving him a chance to speak?
No, I think females always listen. I think females are very good listeners. I really do.
I don't know about.
Yeah,
I think
we don't get a chance to speak, but that's cool though.
Just came out the back.
I mean, it's right.
You had an opportunity to speak, sir. You refused to. Anyway,
I need a refill.
That part. You're sitting there crying the whole time. Anyway, so Andrea, could you reiterate your point? You said Andrea. Could you please? I said your name wrong. I'm sorry.
Okay, I think the men don't open up because when you're in a barbershop, because I have friends who are barbers. Okay, so I hang out with them a lot, so it doesn't bother me. Okay, what you talk about? So I see them communicate in the barbershop, and they're in there when they're speaking. Everybody else is quiet, and the woman, when we're at home with our man, we interrupting. He getting tongue tied. He getting tired of trying to talk to us when we keep talking while he's talking. And so the men have a problem opening up because we're talking and it's disrupting the whole conversation.
Isn't that ironic?
You know what?
Wait, but let me just say something. I'm real quick.
Will, would you like to join
what
the
you just
conversation?
What you just did is what's necessary for us to have a conversation that actually have some sort of solution. That's why I asked. Let's remove what we feel. Let's remove us from the situation. If we really want to get to the answer, let's really discuss. We talked about the barbershop and we talked about relationship. We know that men open up in barbershops, but they struggle to open up in relationships. Now we have one variable, right? And it didn't come from a man. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes men can feel like they're listened to in the barbershop. They don't feel like they're listened to in their relationships. That's one variable. What else do we have?
So I think though, I don't think that's one variable for some women, because some women can listen. Some women will be quiet and listen to what their man has to say. Some women are not always interrupting their man when when they're talking. Now y'all don't count. But I'm just playing, but in relationships, there are some women who actually do sit there and listen to their man. Sometimes.
So you see what you're doing, Shanita? You're getting defensive. We're only talking about
No, I'm not getting defensive. I'm not getting defensive. I'm explaining this. You talking about variables, and I'm trying to explain it. Sometimes it's not what's not being said, or because knowledge is key. Had brought it up. He said that, when a woman talks so strong or something, or when a woman, says what she has to say, she sounds very strong. And he said something along the fact of maybe what she says can be said softer. So maybe it's not about her interrupting. Maybe it's also
how she says it,
of what she's saying to him and how she's saying it.
But maybe she needs to wait and just let him get it out and say, are you when I'm allowed to talk, when you done, and don't say anything.
I'm just
listen.
saying. Ain't that the truth, Andre? Ain't that the
That's what I'm
damn
saying.
truth?
It's not, because sometimes it's not always.
But I say,
it's not always about us being quiet. Sometimes when we do respond, it's not the response that the man wants to hear in the moment.
Then
so
that's being quiet.
And that's another reason why he doesn't want to open up.
So the question is, when he get done talking, you ask, "Can I respond?" Now you can say, "My response might be not like what you like." Now, what you want me to say? Because that's what I do now.
So I think going into it though, if you have if the rules are established on the conversation, like, babe, I came home, I had a long day, had 3 guys stupid and just going crazy, and I needed to get with whomever, and I'm just having a terrible day. I just need for you to listen. I need for you. Can you just listen? I don't want no conversation. This ain't a back and forth. This ain't nothing. I just need for you to listen because I want to vent to you, right? If you establish that ground rule going in, right, then your spouse, your partner, your loved one knows that if you start making comments on what I'm saying, the man, the woman, whatever is going to shut down, and you've lost 100% of their attention. Okay. If you go into the conversation and you say, look, sweetheart, I want your opinion. Let me give you what happened. Give me your earnest, honest opinion on however the situation plays itself out that I'm giving to you. But I want your opinion. And if you know that person is vulnerable at that moment, like Andrea said, you can send out a disclaimer. Hey, sweetheart, I thought about it. I know what I'm going to say. It may not tickle your fancy the way you want it to, but I'm going to tell you this is what the answer is, right? So there's a preparation that you're doing to get that person, that man, set up to be like, hey, what she's about to say, you may have to go ahead and put some body armor on because it's gonna come quick and it's gonna hurt, and that's okay. But I think if we're not, that dialogue, that conversation piece is not happening to where you establish that at the beginning, the conversation is gonna go south. And so I know, I'm fortunate enough, she's probably Ryan or something, my wife, fortunate enough to where she'll tell me, hey, babe, long one, just need you to listen. And I've caught myself sometimes where I'm like I want to say something. I either know the answer or I know what's going to happen. And let me tell you something, I've bitten my tongue over the years. I've jumped in, I've cut her off, and then vice versa, and it doesn't work. And what we've known, what we've noticed, and that's that repetition. Over repetition, you're gonna build this, right? And you're gonna build that character. You're gonna build that relationship of talking. And I think that that's most important. But you can't get to that level unless you don't establish ground rules first, no matter whom you're talking with. And so we're talking about being vulnerable. All right, babe. I didn't get that promotion I was looking for. So-and-so, did whatever, had a better presentation than I did. Let me tell you what happened. And, when like, well, did you study? Like, we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear none of that stuff. You can hold that till next week. We want to hear, babe, we want y'all as much as we're going to be your biggest cheerleader out there, to Knowledge's point earlier and to everybody else's point. I'm going to be your cheerleader as well as I want you to be my cheerleader.
That's a fact.
Word.
That's why Harry has been married for as long as he has.
Yo,
We love it when Harry comes.
Yes, we do.
We love when Harry comes.
hey, I gotta go though.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Trey,
Yeah.
you're so sad.
We're gonna miss you, Dre.
Yes.
Don't patronize me. All right, guys. See you
My
guys.
man.
Love you all.
Hey, yo, Harry, ask you a question, Harry.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, you wasn't always like this. Now, how was you when you was 21?
I think this is a G-rated show. I don't think we can get with it. Look, man, listen, I had that El DeBarge going. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean,
Now,
Yeah,
listen,
you did.
it was. I had the Albie Shore. I had it all, man. It was.
Yeah,
it was
you
good.
did.
It was good.
Yeah.
You know, I will say knowledge. I mean, great question, and I don't mind answering it because I'm 40. You know what I mean, and I don't have to worry about looking back, going, hey, I made my mistake. Nah, those were life lessons. And when I was there, I would cut off. I would like, yeah, whatever. I dismiss your conversation. As far as emotion goes, whose emotion? I don't even know who that person is. Like it wasn't about opening up. Look, I was in the Marine Corps with some stuff going on, traveling the world. I really wasn't into the relationship thing like that, that big. I got into a relationship for a significant time, and then I was like, it's not for me. So like I went and did, but I'm not the man who I am today without going through those life lessons, making those mistakes,
now,
leveraging like my sister, talking to Mom Dukes, talking to my women friend friends who would be like, yeah, I don't think you grasp the concept of a relationship or grasp the concept of talking to people. I got all that. I got hit in the face and the chin and the jaw with all that knowledge, no pun intended knowledge, with all the information to kind of become a good man. But I will tell you, a lot of women played a big role in who I am as a man today.
Hold on,
a lot of women don't realize that.
Hold on. This is where I want to get to the key of the question. Was it your wife that brought out the full potential in you? Now listen.
Hell yeah.
Listen, this is real. I'm gonna keep it 100% real. I can speak the same. You never start loving yourself until somebody start loving you, right? Now listen, sometimes you don't have worth. You don't think you're worth anything. So you be like, you know what? Let me love something to feel like I'm something, right? What happens is once the right person love you, you will start knowing who you are and start being more. Let me tell you something. A man ain't gonna change for anybody. I don't care who you are. You can be the prettiest, the best body, the best cooker. I don't care. But once you are somebody different than that female Instagram or somebody, once a person you're different, he's going to treat you different. There's love in every man. He just don't give it like a woman does. A woman can love 20 different. You can get out of a relationship with a man. Oh, I loved him so much. And then 3 months later, meet Charles and love him the same. Man can't do that. I'm going to tell you right now, men don't do that. Men don't give all their love to, it don't work. That next female might never get his love again. Once you hurt a man, a female was different. So men will change for the right woman. And I'm going to keep it real. It's more females that turn queens into kings than it is that kings turn to queens. That's a fact.
So you saying potential again? Is that what this about here, knowledge? I'm just asking the question because we as grown women on this stage, okay, come on now, we're too old for this. We ain't 22, we 46, 35, 37. Come on now, you
30.
Come to a point in our life, and I'm gonna be 46 in 4 days. Okay, I know who I am. I know who I am. I know what I'm about. I'm a good woman, and I'm not doing potential anymore. Why? Because I don't date too many potentials, and if I keep dating potential, I'm gonna keep getting potential. So look, I'm at a point in my life. Is I want a good man, and he should know who he is and what he about, and he don't need me to stand beside him and tell him what he's about. Because if he's with me, I'm gonna be his cheerleader, and he's gonna be mine.
Now think about this, right? Do you think, even at your age,
yes,
nothing? I mean, you just live long. That's the only thing that means. I mean, some people just live long. That I know some people that's 46 and still think like they 21. They just live long. That's it. But they're trying to use their age as a trophy. Okay, I understand that.
No, age don't mean age. What I'm saying to you is, I'm knowledgeable in what I am. I'm knowledgeable who I am. I'm giving back to my community. I love my family. I got 2 grown kids that ain't got no criminal record. What you talking about? Come on now.
That's good. That's good. That's supposed to be. I mean, as a black community,
it's not happening in every black family. So don't tell me it's supposed to be. It's not happening. Black brothers are going to jail. My son ain't never been in jail, and he's 22 years old. So I know I don't do a good job. I got a 23-year-old daughter that's turned 23, and she ain't got no babies and no kids, and she's going to college and being somebody. So it don't happen in every black family. So I know who I am. I know what I'm about, and I'm 46 years old, and I got age and time on me.
Now,
so I can date potential. If I keep dating potential, I cannot raise a man. I'm already raising a son, and I make sure that he know who he is and what he about, and he open up. We talk about feelings all the time. I don't tell him. Tell me what you feel. How you feeling? What's going on in your day? How was your work day? See, I'm a mama, and I talk to my son.
You supposed to. That's a fact. That's a good mom.
So but why is that? I had a mother who had 7 kids. My mom and daddy been together 52 years old. So I know how to be a parent. But I cannot raise a man. And he should know what he's about.
This is what I'm saying. If you get with a guy that's saying your age and he's 46, he's older, he's been through this, he's been with the young girls, he ain't got time for that. He wants somebody that he can chill with, lay with, and die with, right? Do you think he would, at his age, would want to hear you talking like that consistently?
I don't care.
That's the key. There's the key. There it goes. That's the key. You don't care. That's the key.
Because I'm telling you, I don't care because he should know. He should know how I feel. He should know that I don't.
But nobody knows you. Nobody knows you. When you first meet a person, you don't know them. You trying to know them. Like, yo, I don't, like, I'm 46. I still wear suits. I still, like, you know what I mean? I still drive a Cadillac. You know what I mean? Like, I like to listen to the whispers. I like to listen to, you know what I mean? I'm older. Like, I like to listen to Marvin Gaye. I like to I'm older. I'm not to listen to Cardi B. I'm not listening to that. I'm an older guy. So
so the point is, why should I keep dating potential? Us black women are asking that because I see too many potentials in us, and I'm saying is us as black women should not be dating potential anymore. Require a little better. Require a little more. Because if you don't, you're getting that. Talking about that.
But now look.
Amen.
Say if I'm telling you,
Reverend Real.
Every community. I don't live. Listen, I'm in communities that don't have maybe the choices that some do as black men. I'm not speaking for black men in Hollywood. I'm speaking for black men that don't have those. This is what I'm speaking about. Sometimes a black man, all he has is potential. That's it.
Well.
So when you as women, no, hold on a minute. But as women, when you gonna say I can't date potential no more? Because why? You ain't never get no shit together.
That's a choice though. You making a choice to say, look, I don't want a man based on potential. I want a man to have his stuff together. I got my stuff together. So I want a man that at least got his stuff together so he not taking from me. I want a man that at least gonna bring something to the table, is gonna do. I understand that. That's a fact. I respect that. Now I'm saying to the ones that don't have that say they have 3 kids with no man, 24, and she's looking for advice, and she live in an area where the black men, 90% of them been in jail, got records, or weird. What you gonna tell her about her when she don't have a car, she don't have a crib, but she want a man to have all these things, and she don't have none of these? What's she gonna get? Potential, ain't she?
Bring something to the table too. Come on now, that's just what it is. You can't expect to get something if you ain't got nothing either. Who's saying that? Ain't nobody saying that. We grown people.
That's a big fact.
Well, you got people out there with there's So my understanding, I don't know this, but you know, the dating game ain't what it used to be back in the '90s when you was rocking Cavariccis and loose triple fat gooses and stuff. So it's different, right? So I think also that has a lot to do, you know, the vulnerability, and then you come into this date, dinner, whatever, and you got this laundry list for someone who you need to meet certain criteria, and they got to have that's either 780 beacon score. I mean, whatever, you need all this stuff. I think you know, that kind of going off on the side, but I think that vulnerability really just comes because that's what we're on, is vulnerability. The vulnerability drug right now is really just saying, look, I mean, and that's okay. I will tell you from a personal story that when I came to my wife and I met my wife, it was like I had zero. Like I was like ducket list. So I think it's really about if you see the fortitude, the passion, and the drive in someone, and you have the same drive, but you're just in a different place.
Thank you.
As long as you can feed off the drive until you kind of get that gear going, but you can see the potential. Not everybody can see that. My wife saw it. I give her kudos. I couldn't see it. But I think what men and women want, no matter what, I just think that we want someone who's sort of headstrong, don't have their head in the cloud, don't have their head chasing tail, or vice versa, chasing some other whatever. I think women just want, and I'm not speaking on behalf of y'all, ladies. I'm just thinking that from a perspective of we just need to come to the table and be fair and equal. If we, like, I just saw something on Instagram earlier. It was the guy asking the girl, "Hey, you want to come to my house?" They just finished having dinner. Like, "Hey, you want to come to my house? We can just chit chat, sort of, you know, chop it up." She was like, "Nah." He split the check, and I thought that was a funny thing, because it's like, look, we were splitting it anyway. I mean, you should have gone into that conversation, to that meeting, that lunch, that dinner, that snack, that tapas, whatever, splitting it anyway. And so the fact that there's some sort of ulterior motive that's there is no good. And I think going into Andrew's point, going into a relationship, I got mine. You got yours, then we got ours.
Yeah, fact.
That's how it is.
Facts.
And you can't ask the person to have something if you don't got that.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is now. And yes, dating have changed. Dating is so much different now. And it's much complicated too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, this was a good conversation. I mean, I really enjoyed conversation tonight. I actually think that we should do a part 2 to the conversation.
No, we should not. No, not to this conversation. No.
Tell her real. Tell her.
Just because you weren't fulfilled, real
but
talk.
I will say this. Let me talk, Shanita. I ain't talked all fucking night. Let me talk. Now, what I will say is this.
We can't see your face. We can't see your face.
Whatever. Look, let me say this though. I agree with Andrea. Andrea is finna be 46 years old. I believe Andrea already got her shit together for the most part, all right? So she's probably looking for a man that's around her age or a little bit older. Now, this man, he's going to probably be in his 50s. He is going to need to already have his shit together. So fuck potential. Stop dating potential, especially at that age. She needs somebody who already got his shit together. So I agree with her on that. That's it.
My man.
What's that love right there?
It's true. I mean, if you're in your 20s and 30s, well, no disrespect to the 30s, but if you're in your 20s, you barely living. You ain't really lived yet. I mean, you alive, but you're not really living.
Ain't living yet.
So, I mean, you got to go through some things first. I'm not saying you need to jump, put a pack on your back and go to war, but I think the toughest thing is to be vulnerable. When I met my wife, the last thing I said, she'll tell you, it's a famous thing that we talk about, is I told her I had no more crazy glue for my heart because I couldn't have it broken anymore. So she was like, whatever that means. And then I was like, and then I became the mantra, like, okay, well, this guy's a delicate guy because of relationships I'd had in the past. And I was just like, well, relationships I had in the past. And so it was really, it was an eye-opener for her, but that set the precedence of, okay, this is how we're doing it. This is how we're going to have that conversation moving forward. This is how we're going to address certain things. And coming from a household, Hispanic Puerto Rican household, those hands is heavy. You know, mom always sets the tone. Mom sets the tone, says this is what it's gonna be. That's what it is. Dad's like, I just go to work. That's it. I go to work. I do my job. I go home. That's it. Like that's it. And that's so women. I'm gonna say this because I definitely got to run. I got some chicken on the stove, and I got two beautiful little girls I got to entertain. So I will say that this whole thing about vulnerability, it doesn't start with the women. And we're talking about men being vulnerable. It starts within ourselves to figure out how we can let that guard down. And some of us have some really big guards let up because we've had a lot of disappointment and let down for some women, girlfriends, coaches, teachers, counselors. And that shouldn't reflect anything on the relationship you're going into. So take that, put that aside, and you need to start fresh and get a new slate, because they don't deserve anything you're about to give them based on what you've had in the past. So y'all, I am checking out. This is Casey Kasem, Chuck and Deuces, like Chuck Woolery. I got to go. My ladies, definitely a pleasure. My men's and them, definitely a pleasure. Real, you came through at the end, Rev. You revved it out, Reverend for me. I like that. And Knowledge, keep dropping that stuff, man. It's definitely good. And keep an open mind, everybody.
Bye, Harry.
Until next time, Harry. Don't be ashamed. Okay, so guys, you know what time it is. It is the end of the show. But before we get to the end of the show, I'm just going to go around to the panel members for their final thoughts. So, Real, seeing as you didn't speak much tonight, you can start.
I mean, I don't have a final thought because I didn't have a thought because I didn't say nothing today. But let me say this. We as men, first of all, when we say there's a broken home, like the homes in the community are broken, it's not blaming the women. It's just homes are broken. If there's not a two-parent home, it's automatically broken. Whether it's the man that's in the home or the woman that's in the home, it's still broken, because I believe in two-parent households, period. So, like Andrea was saying, I don't believe in potential either. I'm 33. I'm still somewhat young, but getting older. I don't believe in potential either. I need, if I got my shit together, you need your shit together as well. And as far as men, not really, being emotional with a woman, it depends on the woman they're with. If you're loud and not portraying feminine energy to that man, he's not gonna display that with you. Because a man don't want to date, like Knowledge said, another man. He needs to date a woman. He needs to be with a submissive woman. And then if he trusts you enough, that's when he'll display that emotional side to you. If not, he needs to be gone. Because I also believe that you being a man and you being a woman, that you should be able to display your emotional side to each other, period. If not, then y'all need to both be out, period. So that's it.
I just didn't like how you said he needs to be with a submissive woman, but that's neither here or there. That can be another discussion.
Okay, well, no, let me say this too then. Because being feminine and being submissive go hand in hand. If you're not submissive, you're really not a feminine woman. But let's continue.
Oh, hell no. Now we ain't gonna get to that today.
Okay, well, hey, it is what it is. That's what I said. Feminism, being feminine and being submissive go hand in hand. That's part of being feminine, is being submissive. Now, that's how you looking at Vee. You're looking at submissive once again as a bad word. It's not a bad word to be submissive. It's not. And really, if you look at it the right way, being submissive is a beautiful thing. So, hey, take it how you want to take it, though. Next. Since I ain't say nothing all day, I had to say all that.
Before I get to the next person, I just want everybody in the chat to wish our beautiful, amazing panelist, Andrea Lynch, a happy birthday. Drop a happy birthday in the chat. It's her birthday this week, and we're not going to be able to celebrate her until next Sunday again. So everybody wish her an early happy birthday. And make sure you go over to Real Mamas, Real Problems on Thursday for her big birthday celebration live. We cannot wait. We're so excited. Shanita, final thoughts?
I just want to say to Real Talk 87, period, Real Talk 87, that he had a plethora of opportunities to speak tonight. He chose not to. So if he did not want to speak, that was on him. So my final thoughts are, I think that we can have a part 2 to this conversation. I think it'll be wonderful because I feel like the men had a lot to say and they have a lot that they need to get off their chest. And I feel like it's maybe a little therapeutic for some. And if they feel like they need to be free and open up, this would be a great place to do so. So,
and this is a great place to
Not
do
on
so.
this panel. Not on this panel. Hell no. No. No.
You know what? A shout out to You Can Talk Your Way to a Healthy Relationship. Okay, I was over there last night because I was trying to keep myself calm, cool, and collected. Okay, so he has been teaching me that. Okay, but I will say, Andrea Lynch back in the day, when a man was talking, I was talking. I have learned.
Do that now, but continue.
And you just did the same thing.
I sure did, because I ain't said nothing all night. So go ahead, continue, Andrea. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But you got offensive and shut up.
I have learned in relationships with men and women, when they are talking, you say, when you're done talking, can I say something? And I do that with my friends now too, because sometimes I don't want no conversation. I just want you to listen. So I do think you should set up boundaries in a relationship with anybody. So that's my own little take on that.
And my take is, I think I'm getting one step closer to understanding men and the way that they think.
Oh, shit.
And I'm so looking forward to part 2 of this conversation, because I feel like all we did was just kind of get to the tip of the iceberg, but we didn't quite get all the way into the nitty gritty of the issues. And it was going somewhere, and the men had a lot to say. So next week, Sunday, we shall continue and have a part 2 to this conversation. I'm sure everybody is looking forward to it. I hope everybody has a wonderful, peaceful, and sober night. And I just want to wish Andrea, thank you so much for being an amazing panel member on Battle of the Sexes. I'm so happy to have you. And I hope you have an amazing birthday week. That's my final thought. Oh, go, Shanita.
Real quick. While you were talking, I thought about this, that maybe the part 2 can be about what can we do to help the man. Since we're understanding the man more and we're understanding how they think, now it can be, what can we do to help you all get that way? Absolutely. Or what can we do to help you be a better man or be better in your relationships?
Yes.
Because we always want resolve.
Yes.
Guys, also do not forget to be looking out for the poll that will be on my community tab by tomorrow. Who do you think? Well, battle was kind of different this week, to be honest. But I'll pose the question a little bit different. Do you believe that the women understood do you believe that the women understood where the men were coming from with whether or not they feel safe enough to open up to a woman emotionally? Don't forget to go and vote. Women, do not forget to go and vote, because the men make sure they go there first, and they like to make sure that they
lie like that.
Vote.
Don't lie like that.
So, women, calling all my beautiful women, make sure you go and vote tomorrow. Until next time, everyone, stay beautiful. I'll see you next week. Bye.